Hello, my name's Georgia. Welcome to your practice. I've got a really beautiful, simple sequence for you to indulge in. And the highlighted meridian that we're going to be working with this evening or this morning, whenever you're practicing, is the Bladder Meridian. And so in my practice, as a kinesiology, my practice of held space, every week there seems to be themes with clients, and the clients seem to reflect very similar patterns within one another, even though they, are completely strange to one another, and their stories and what they're moving through is so different, but this really similar energetic theme seems to surface every week. And recently that theme has been the Bladder Meridian, so stress within the Bladder Meridian. And the Bladder Meridian runs along the sides of the face all the way down the back body to the toe, the outside of the pinky toe. And it really governs our sense of safety in the world. Like, it's when there's an imbalance with the Bladder Meridian, a lot of the time there's a lot of anxiousness, a lot of worry and a lot of fear arising for people. And so really for me, and the way that I see it show up in clinic, is that it's about coming back to safety for the Bladder Meridian stressed people. And what a better practice to support this than yin yoga, because I really believe yin yoga is this beautiful opportunity to create safety in the body, to find safety in the body. And so this sequence is to support stress in the Bladder Meridian. We'll also work into the hips and the backs of the legs and activating that meridian on the back of the body. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so with yin yoga, you can use as many props or as little props as you like. Props can support our bodies in getting more comfortable in positions that don't necessarily feel that comfortable. And they also really support us sometimes to find more safety, because we can feel that sense of heldness from a prop. So today I've got 2 blocks, a bolster-like pillow, just a really massive pillow. You can replace this with one normal pillow or two normal pillows, or a bolster. I've got a towel, because I don't have a strap. If you have a strap, bring a strap in, and if not, we'll use a towel. So let's start. We're going to start on our back body. We're going to start with an opening through the backs of the legs. So pop all your other props aside and bring your towel or your strap down with you. Lying on the back. And just have that strap or towel nice and close. We'll just take a few breaths to drop into the body and drop onto our mats. Please take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Close down the eyes and start to turn your attention in. With that direction of the attention inward, just start to pay attention to all the layers of the body. The physical layer of the skin, the bones, muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the blood, cells. Just notice what you feel and feel what you notice. And then shift your attention to your mental plane, the mental layer of your body, so the thoughts that are present. Just noticing what's stirring in the mind. Maybe the mind's able to be really present with what I'm guiding you through, or maybe the mind's still sort of somewhere else. Just notice, recognize, accept. And then anchor the mind now to the breath. Feel the breath coming in and out of the lungs. And with each breath, start to deepen and lengthen the inhale and the exhale. And maybe if that mental plane, those thoughts are quite busy, make the breath a little more audible. This can support you in really finding presence. Deepened, lengthened breaths that are a little louder and support us in just really coming into the here and now, into our bodies, whilst also softening the edges of the physical body and any pressure in the mind, any pressure in the muscles. Use this deepened, lengthened breath to just support you in really melting and softening and coming into a safer place within yourself. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Fill up the whole torso with breath. Hold the breath at the top. Open the mouth, sigh out, release. 2 more. Breathe in slowly, deeply. Hold the breath at the top. Open the mouth, let it go. One more, deepest breath in. Hold, hold, hold. Open the mouth, let it go. Good. Take a full body stretch. Reach your arms behind your head. Straighten through your legs or point through the toes. I'm just working out my microphone. Full body stretch. Trying to keep the back on the ground. Just pointing through the toes, reaching through the arms. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax the body. Drop to the ground. Good. From here, take a hold of your strap or your towel. Or you could also use a leg rope if you're a surfer like me. I'm just going to get that there. Okay. And take your right foot, bend the right knee and catch the right ball of the foot. So not the heel, not the middle of the foot, but the ball of the foot just below the toes. And reach your right leg up towards the sky or the roof. So we're taking that leg towards straight. A slight bend is totally welcome. We don't actually want it too straight because we can compensate the knee by making it too straight. So have a little gentle soft bend in the knee. And if you're looking for more sensation with that softness in the knee, just take the heel towards the sky a little further. Good. Now we're going to have, like me, our hands holding each side of the strap or the towel. And you're going to have to obviously have firmness holding that into position with the hands, but then see if you can let the arms drop really heavy and see if you can earth the shoulders towards the ground and let the arms fall quite heavy. As our arms fall quite heavy, the leg might kind of go a little further towards the space behind you. And then when you're ready to close down the eyes, and direct that attention back in. And just notice the sensation of that opening through the back of the leg. Find your edge here. So our edge is that place where we're experiencing sensation and maybe a little bit of heightened sensation, but never any pain. If there's any pain, please back off. And you can do this by taking the leg a little further away from the upper body. Good, and just make sure that that right hip hasn't lifted up towards the top of the mat too far. Just direct it down slightly with not too much activation. And then once you've found that edge and that comfortable spot to drop in, reconnect to that deepened, lengthened breath. And let that deep and lengthened breath really be your anchor for your practice today. Anytime that mind starts to journey elsewhere, just know that you can increase that audibility of the breath. And through that sense, through that hearing that breath get a little louder, it should really redirect that attention back to the body, back to the breath. If the hands get like a sense of fatigue in them, you can always just bend the knee for a moment, give the hands a little bit of a release by releasing the strap, wriggling the hands, and then coming back. We won't be here too much longer. Please take your final 3 breaths as you are. And on that third exhale, release the strap or the towel, release the leg. Draw your right knee towards your chest, using the support of the hands on the shin to draw that knee up and in. And hold. Good. From here, release the left hand next to the body. Take your right shin into your right hand and then let your right hip open, right groin open, and drop your right knee further towards the right side of the mat. If you feel your left hip lifting and rolling over, take your left hand and just press it into your left hip. And it should feel nice and anchoring. Might feel nice to stretch out through the foot here, pointing and flexing the foot. Maybe making some circles with the foot, stretch out the ankle. Good, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And draw that right knee to center, slide your right leg to the ground, reach your arms behind you, full body stretch, breathe in. Breathe out, drop your body to the ground. Beautiful, left side now. Take your left knee, bend it, grab a hold of your strap or your towel, and take that strap or towel to the ball of your left foot now. Pressing through the foot, lifting the foot to the sky or the roof, straightening that left leg, but then keeping that nice micro bend into the left knee. Just make sure that left hip doesn't slide up too much towards your left rib cage. Intentionally direct it away from the left rib cage, slide it towards the back of the mat. And then again, obviously the hands will have to be active to hold the strap, but then soften the arms, soften the shoulder, and kind of invite the arms and the shoulders to be the anchor for the strap. And notice this might draw the foot a little bit closer towards the top of the mat. And again, if this feels too strong at all, bend the knee a little bit more or just take the leg down slightly. So it might even be more like this for you. Good, and if you're wanting more sensation, draw the leg closer towards the top of the mat and take that heel, activate that heel and push it towards the sky. Close down the eyes, find that deepened, lengthened breath. And just let everything else in the body begin to soften, soften, soften. Again, if those hands start to feel slightly fatigued, you can just bend into your knee quite a bit. Release the strap or the towel, give your hands a little shake, give the fingers a wriggle, and then come back into the stretch when you're ready. Please take your 3 final breaths here. And on that third exhale, release the stretch, release the strap or the towel, take it to the side. And then draw your left knee towards your chest, using the support of the hands on the shin. And then release that right arm, take it to the ground beside you, and use your left hand to draw left knee out and down. Good. If you're like me and that right hip's wanting to lift off the ground, use your right hand to anchor it back down. You'll find a little more stability in that opening through the left side. And again, you might like to circle out through that left ankle. You might like to point and flex the foot. Just take a moment here to attune to your body. Notice what it's craving. Follow its guidance. Take a deep breath in. And on your breath out, release. Draw that knee through center. Slide your left leg down next to the right, full body stretch. Reach through the arms. Straighten through the legs. Breathe in. Breathe out and drop. And then grab your bolster and have it nearby. Bend the knees, press the hips up into a bridge position and slide your bolster underneath your booty. Lower the hips onto the bolster. And we're going to come into a supported happy baby posture now. So before you grab a hold of the feet, just slide those shoulder blades together and down away from the neck. And then reach for both feet. Take a hold, so bend into the knees, take the feet towards the hands towards the feet, and take a hold of the outside edges of the feet. Some people like to come to the inside edges of the feet. I like to come to the outside edges of the feet. I'm happy for you to do either. And press those hands into the feet. And then let those knees drop really heavy towards the ground. Close down the eyes, find that deep and deepened breath. And if you're feeling any pressure to the neck, just slide the chin towards the chest slightly and sort of shuffle the shoulders a little. Just make sure they're not too cramped up and in towards the neck. Just draw them down and out away from the neck. This should help. And then really enjoy the sensation of that opening from the groin into the back of the thighs and the inner thigh. As you stay and breathe, maybe those inner thighs and that groin start to open further and further, and this allows the knees to get heavier and heavier. Let it all drop, let it all go. And stay with the breath. So when we have stressful moments through the day, regardless of what that stress input is, like it can be a small thing or something pretty significant, but basically what happens is we have this response from our brain, a part of our brain where we have this output as a response to the stress. So the stress lands in the brain, and then the brain will send a signal to a part of the body to hold tension and express the stress from a physiological, anatomical level. So that's why we literally store our muscles and our fascia, store our stress, our experiences, our stories, the things that we move through and grow through in life. That's all stored within our tissues and our bones and our structures and our whole physiology. So one thing I really love with yin is that because we get this beautiful amount of time and space to just breathe and let the body unwind, with this unwinding of the muscles and the fascia, we're able to release some of these outputs of stress that kind of can get stuck in the body. Please take your 3 final breaths as you are. On your 3rd out breath, release the hold of the feet and take the soles of the feet to the ground. Take your feet as wide as your mat and knock your knees in, and just take a moment in stillness here. And just let that release of stress and pressure in those areas of the body that we just accessed sort of integrate into your body. Let the body and the brain become aware of the change and the release before we go to the next posture. Good. From here, just draw your knees into your chest to rebound. Just briefly, we'll just draw the knees into the chest, wrap your arms around your shins. And it might feel nice to peel the forehead to the knees. Good, and releasing. And then we're going to take the feet to the ground. We don't have much to change here. Going to come into a supported bridge now. So maybe in this position, as I am, so knees bent, soles of the feet to the ground about hips distance apart, the bolster underneath your hips. Maybe this is you. Maybe for a little bit more, you do walk your feet forward and straighten the legs. Just notice if, like for me right now, I've got to shuffle my pillow up slightly because I can notice it's sort of not high enough to get that arching through my back and my hips, so play with that a little. So that's another option. If you're looking for more sensation, replace your bolster with a block. Pop a block underneath your hips, and you can have it on any of those levels. You can have it on the smallest level, the medium or the high. Please be cautious if you go to the high option. And again, you can have your knees bent. If you're on that highest option, please keep your knees bent. If the block's lower, you can take the feet out like I have here. You choose lots of options. Once you've found your option and your edge, close down those eyes. And again, back to that deepened, lengthened breath, back to our anchor. And so continuing off like what I had mentioned in that last posture, our brain picks up on the stress. It sends signals to part of our body to activate and hold tension as a response to the stress. And then we utilize this practice of yin to then unwind that stress, release that stress and that pressure that can otherwise be kind of hard to let go of or be even aware of. And then with that release and that softening of that stress and pressure that's been held in the muscles and the tissues for probably way longer than ideal for all of us. There'll be, something that's been held on to for a really long period of time that can be causing a lot of tension in the body. So once we begin to soften that tension, then we are able to come closer to that sense of safety in our body. The less tension we have in the body, the safer it feels. And I don't mean that from like a fitness tension, like strength in the muscles or firmness in the muscles from activating them, but more from, again, that sense of stress, that intensity, that build-up that's causing friction in our system. When we release that, safety becomes more accessible. Please take your final 3 breaths as you are. And at the end of that third breath, bend your knees. Take the soles of the feet to the ground if they're not already there. Press through the feet, lift the hips. Slide your bolster or your block out. Very slowly, slowly, slowly lower your spine to the ground. Take your legs to the ground. And just take a moment in stillness here. Close down the eyes. Just let the spine reset, recenter, and again that sort of the mind and the body to process the shift and the change from the posture. And then we're going to come into our final posture, Shavasana, when you're ready. So take any variation that feels good for you here. Grab a blanket if you're feeling cool. You can utilize a block under the head. You can have a bolster under your knees. You can take a bolster across the hips like this. You can take a bolster along the body or a pillow to weight yourself down. I'm going to take that option today because that feels really, really good. Having that weight press on my body sort of really creates a sense of safety and security for me. So play around, get comfortable. Comfort is king in this posture. And then create some space in your body. So that similar action we've done a few times now, drawing shoulder blades together away from the ears, slide the arms out so they become nice and wide, taking up some space. Slide the backs of the hands away from the shoulders and then drop the arms to the ground. Pick up or just slide your ankle towards the end of the mat, one ankle at a time. Notice how that creates a bit more length in the legs, and you can kind of activate the glutes to tuck the tailbone under a little. Chin towards the chest slightly, and then give the head a little shake left to right. Good. And then come into complete stillness. Invite every part of your body to soften, to relax, to release. Connect to that physical plane, the physical body. Feel into the muscles, the muscular system, and see if you can invite that muscular system to become so soft and juicy that it feels like it's melting around the bones. Scan the body and just scan for any points of tension. And again, like we did earlier in the class, just send your breath to any areas of tension in the body. And use that breath to support that melting softness to come into that area. And use it as that indication of it's safe to relax, it's safe to release. Just allow your breath to float in and out without any effort. And do your best to keep your mind anchored with stillness and awareness of the body and the breath. It's okay if it wanders. Just redirect it back to the body, back to the breath when you notice that it's drifted. I'll invite you to stay here as long as you need. This video will end shortly, and with that ending, it doesn't mean that you have to come out of your posture. I encourage you to stay as long as feels good for you. But I just want to say thank you for joining me. And thank you for taking some time to reconnect to a sense of safety within. Soften your edges and to be present with your breath and your body.